like to call to order the Planning and Development Committee meeting for Monday, August 25th, 2025. We'll start tonight with our invocation, who will be given by Pastor E.J. Parham of St. Paul Church of God.
Good evening to everyone, certainly to our esteemed mayor and those of you that make up this gathering. Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, there is none like you. We thank you now for this opportunity that we have to come together to lift you up. Thank you for bringing us together. And God, I pray that you'll help us to be what we need to be in order to take care of the business that we have at hand. Do it for your glory. And God, we be careful to give you all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor. This we pray in thy Son Jesus' name. Thank God. Amen. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to hand it right over to Mayor McNamara for tonight's proclamation.
I just got my reminder to speak into the mic clearly. This evening we have a proclamation for Direct Support Professional Recognition Week, and we have Jackie Corsi as well as others from Mosaic. Hi, I'm great. How are you? I'm going to give this to you. Whereas the week of September 7th, 2025 has been designated as a National Direct Support Professional Recognition Week in order to celebrate and recognize professionals who provide support to millions of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And whereas this celebration recognizes the dedication and vital role of direct support professionals in enhancing the lives and protecting the well-being of individuals with disabilities of all ages. And whereas the community plays a role in lifting up direct support professionals as integral in supporting the needs of people with disabilities and their families through the service systems across the United States. And whereas the goals of our city properly give recognition to those who directly help people with disabilities gain full access to housing, employment, and recreation activities which help create productive and satisfying lives and to live as independently as possible. Now, therefore, I, Thomas P. McNamara, as the mayor of the city of Rockford, do hereby proclaim September 7th through the 13th of 2025 to be Direct Support Professional Recognition Week. Would you like to share a few words?
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of Mosaic, the 70-plus DSPs that we employ, direct support professionals, who are truly the heart and soul of what we do at Mosaic, for the honor, for you guys honoring them. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you. We'll move right into our public speakers. Just as a reminder, there are 2 microphones located at the back of the horseshoe. You will have 3 minutes to make your comments. Once that 3 minutes is up, you will hear an alarm sound, and we ask that you bring your comments to close at that time. Our first speaker tonight is Dale Castillo.
Good afternoon, committee members. Chief Red, we got a good relationship. A couple of weeks ago, I had heart surgery. My son come over to the house, to my apartment, and he got surrounded by 5 squad cars. And one of the main reasons I think it is that a young man, he works all the time, driving a car like that. And that needs to stop because somebody's going to get hurt. We got another problem over there. We got people driving up and down that street. I've been complaining about it before. And, you know, I call, they'll come, maybe they might come. Most of the time they don't. But you got people over there across at the Circle K fighting and screaming and carrying on. You know, something needs to be done. You know, they have that cars and coffee. Right after that, you got these cars, you know, these brand new Vets and things flying up and down the road like they on a racetrack. They're not on a racetrack. If they want to do things like that, go out on I-90 or Highway 20. They can run till the cows come home on that. But they do it in the city. And when I was coming over here, this guy was way past his lights was had changed to yellow, and and before he could get across the street, the lights changed. And luckily, these people didn't even move, or there would have been a bad accident. And another thing I would like to find out, when they have an accident, them tow truck drivers, they should be cleaning that stuff off. People shouldn't have to be getting flats because they're too lazy to do their job. They get called by the city to pick these cars up, and they also get paid for cleaning the streets off. You know, that gets to me. Because long ago, that's what they did. They carried their little brooms with them, and they swept the street off. And didn't nobody have to worry about running over a piece of car that just got hit and cutting their tires out. So I'll be back. I ain't done yet, but I'll be back.
Thank you. Our next public speaker is John Tack Brantley.
Good evening, Mayor McNamara, all the persons, our citizens of Rockford, Illinois. This past weekend, we took the kids to the apple orchard. But I'm blown away also listening to Antichrist wannabe dictator Donald Trump. He's not only sending the military into Washington, D.C., now he's talking about Baltimore, and he's talking about coming to Chicago. I remember the days in the 60s when the military came into Chicago. Them were the days when I was a former Black Panther. The military is there, is trained to shoot, to kill. The military are not policemen. He's sending them to the Democratic neighborhood. Then I'm looking back right here at Rockford. Last week, this is the third, fifth time the mayor blocked me from speaking. This is the fifth. I thought they had relegated apartheid, but apartheid is alive and well. Anytime you want to talk about spending $3 million on a park for white kids to ride up and down on a skateboard and what have you, when we have a hotel closed down, a motel closed down, we got grocery stores closed down, we got little kids and teenagers standing on the corner selling water and what have you. What happened to the infrastructure of working with our kids who need our help that's in poverty? If you could spend $3 million in a park, where's the $3 million you're spending on the west side of Rockford? And then you are an elected official. When an elected official get upset with me or what I'm saying, then you're not our elected official. 6.5 million people, black people, didn't vote because they feel like vote don't count. And I'm up here trying to speak up for them, but here you show a pure example of why our people don't come out and vote, because even though we don't see eye to eye and what have you, you need to recognize that we need to work out our differences and what can we do to come up with a solution to our difference instead of getting angry with me. When you get angry with me or get upset with what I'm talking about that's coming from the community, then you're getting upset with the have-nots. And the only person you care about is the special interest groups, the foreigners, because you blocked me from speaking with foreigners. You blocked me when they was talking about dogs and what have you. And then you blocked me 3 different times for Caucasians coming up here speaking like our concerns is not important. We want to open up a 24-hour daycare center, and we want to open up working with our ethnic kids who got special needs. And I'm wondering what happened to Melvin. Melvin that protested, and the Supreme Court voted 9-0 in the favor right here in Rockford, Illinois. But yet we have aldermen that carry on. When you go to talk to them, they ignore you. And that'd be the last time the alderman ever get ignored. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Our parents
Thank you. Our next speaker is Denzel Winter. Oh, I'm sorry. Is Dale Castillo present? I'll come back. Erica Reed.
Excuse me. My name is Erica Reed. In 2023, I reviewed the graduate mental health programs across our country. Out of 885 public programs, only 83 offered a domestic violence elective, and only 15 required a course. Often the electives were not offered on a regular basis, and the content was poor. For example, a professor at NIU posted an article stating that most cases involve bilateral abuse and female perpetrators outnumber male perpetrators. Give me a break. Domestic violence is an advanced subject matter that requires multiple courses starting at the undergraduate level and continuing through graduate programs in counseling, clinical social work, marriage and family therapy, and psychology. Why are classes needed for licensed mental health professionals? Besides obvious reasons, they are necessary to reduce their high rates of malpractice. Common complaints include siding with batterers in counseling sessions, recommending full or joint custody to batterers and child molesters, dividing the blame between the couple, giving dangerous advice to women, failing to identify domestic violence when presented in a scenario, accepting batterers' self-reports, not reading police reports, and minimizing assaults. These complaints have been documented in research journals, federal congressional hearings, state task forces, and by experts for almost 50 years, including current interim hearings in the Idaho Congress. What's also been documented for the last 50 years is the need for mandatory foundational, clinical, and cross-disciplinary classes with medical and law schools, supervised field experience with batterers, abused women and children, plus continuing education. In 2023, I proposed a common sense bill to state lawmakers for 6 graduate level semester hours for an initial license and 2 or more continuing education units for a renewal. These requirements are very minimal and would be easy to implement since most programs have at least 2 elective spots and several irrelevant classes. Really, requirements should be higher and based on the welfare of paying clients and children. In 2024, a senator from Iowa sponsored a bill for 3 semester hours and 2 CEs. During the subcommittee hearing, the mental health professionals sighed and rolled their eyes and made remarks like, ugh, domestic violence. Yeah, domestic violence. We already know. We don't need classes. We make our own decisions. To make matters worse, the Domestic Violence Coalition sided with the mental health professionals. What can you do? Well, for starters, you can contact nearby colleges and universities on behalf of the abused women and children in each of your districts. You should ask them why they don't require domestic violence classes for mental health majors, as well as majors like law and medicine.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is Prophet Yusuf.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the book of Romans, the 12th chapter, the 2nd verse, it says, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." What I want to speak about tonight, how to reduce the dropout rate in Rockford schools. The Navy discovered in 1954 why young men drop out of school and join the Navy. They came up with 12 reasons why. And if you eliminate these 12 reasons, you can reduce the dropout rate, increase the graduation rate, and reduce the crime rate at the same time, because education and crime is correlated. The first reason was poverty. The second reason was homelessness. The third reason was alcohol and drug abuse in the home. The fourth reason, children who had to work and go to school. The fifth reason, single parents home. The sixth reason, high mobility rate. The seventh reason, parents who hold multiple jobs. The eighth reason, a lack of affordable transportation, and children who had to walk long distance to school. The ninth reason, children who had parents who didn't value education. The 10th reason, domestic violence in the home. The 11th reason, children drop out to take care of parents who had physical and mental problems. The 12th reason, school climate issues such as school size, attitudes of the teachers, other students who was bullies, and peer pressure. If you eliminate these 12 things, you can reduce the truancy rate, the dropout rate, the hunger rate, the poverty rate, the homeless rate, and crime rate, and increase the high school and college graduation at the same time, and would make productive citizens in Rock. Also, they want to tell my sister Frida, who's a retired teacher, and Dr. Bob Griffin, who is a minister, and Alderwoman Benita Herbie this for a long time. And I'm going to get it off my chest tonight. I don't like you, I love you, and you can't do nothing about it. And happy birthday, my good friends, and I wish you many more, and God bless you and your family. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to my dear friends, happy birthday to you. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. We'll move into tonight's committee agenda. Clerk, will you please call the roll? Here. Thank you. We have one item tonight under our committee report. Item 1 is an approval of the proposed development agreement with Aetna Building Solutions and the City of Rockford for the construction and maintenance of a rail line in the amount of $139,233. The funding source is the 11th Street Project Fund. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Are there any comments or questions? Alderman Durkee.
Yeah, just a quick question. It's a forgivable loan, but they own the, my understanding, they own the tracks. So just a curiosity, why are we paying for something that they own? Is it because we are doing the road project?
Is it okay for me to? Okay. Yes. So in alignment with that, the reconstruction of 11th Street, this rail line crossing needs to be improved. Aetna does own that, and to reflect the wanting to make sure the project moves forward, as well as maintaining their presence here in Rockford, we are incorporating the costs of the rail line improvements into the overall 11th Street project. And then that development agreement indicates that they must maintain their presence in Rockford for 5 years, as well as the employment levels that they currently have.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. This meeting is adjourned.
Good evening and welcome to the Codes and Regulation Committee meeting. Clerk, would you please call the roll? Here. Thank you. We have 9 items tonight. The first is Court Street, Chestnut Street. Traffic Commission recommends approval for residential parking permits on the west side of Court Street from 30 feet south of Chestnut Street to 90 feet south of Chestnut Street. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments on item 1? Alderman Bell.
Thank you. Chairman, just want to recognize a resident of the 13th Ward for advocating here during public comment a few weeks back. I had the opportunity to go and meet with him, and he's actually here today, so I just want to give him a shout out for his advocacy for his neighbors in this area, and I'm super excited to support this.
Thank you. He also attended Traffic Commission.
Yep.
So, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Item 2 is Calgary Court, Florida Drive. Traffic Commission recommends approval for a restriction requiring traffic on Calvary Court to stop prior to entering the intersection with Florida Drive. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on item 2? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, 5001 Sandy Hollow Road. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a zoning map amendment from R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District to I1 Light Industrial Zoning District at 5001 Sandy Hollow Road. Michael Miller is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions or comments on item 3? Alderwoman Prunty.
I have a question. Thank you. Has this has always been R1?
Yes, it was brought in at R1
through the annexation? Okay. And then I took a look at it. It seemed like there was a lot of distance between other residents. Is that, and I'm just looking at the overview.
There's no residents around this area. Surrounded by
So it's a lot of distance between.
one side and northern line service.
And when this was taken in, was there some plan for perhaps residential, or it just was already there and that's just how it was?
I just think that the resident wanted to, that the owner of the property wanted to bring it into the city and figure out what's going to happen in the future. And now I think that one of the owners of the property passed away, and some trustee rezoning property.
All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments on item 3? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, 1126 Kilburn Avenue. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a special use permit for a mural on a building in an I-1 light industrial zoning district at 1126 Kilburn Avenue. Jim Lancicotti for DFF Dairy Brands Fluid LLC, doing business as Kemp's Cultured, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments on item 4? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, 4972 and 4980 South Main Street. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a zoning map amendment from R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District to C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 4972 and 4980 South Main Street. Ranger 203ML LLC is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Are there any questions or comments on item 5? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, 319 West Jefferson Street. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a special use permit for body art services, tattoo shop in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 319 West Jefferson Street. Joshua Bauer is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments on item 6? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. 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 Are there any nays? Motion carries. Item 7, 4980 South Main Street. Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for A, the sale of packaged liquor, TRK, and B, the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a licensed truck stop and convenience store with video gaming terminals in an R1 single-family residential zoning district at 4980 South Main Street. Road Ranger LLC, doing business as Road Ranger number 203, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Are there any questions or comments on item 7? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, 109 North Showplace Drive, Suite 133. Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board voted 3-3, resulting in no recommendation for the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with the cigar and vape store in a C3 commercial general zoning district at 109 North Showplace Drive, Suite 133. Mustafa Naji, Sahar Barwari, Premium Cigar and Vape LLC, doing business as Premium Cigar and Vape, is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I will second. So before we vote on this one, just to refresh everybody's memory, this came to us originally with a recommended denial by, I believe, a wider margin vote from the ZBA. And then I made a motion to sustain that. I'm sorry, from LTAB. Motion to sustain that. There was no second. I made a motion to reverse that. There was no second. I then made a motion to sustain it. Finally, Alderman Bellman seconded that motion. Alderman Durkee, whose ward this is in, recommended we send it back to ZBA. We allowed the owner to address the committee to try to answer some of the questions that the applicant wasn't able to answer when it was at ZBA. That I'm not sure that anybody really got the answers they were looking for, but rather than send it back to ZBA, we ultimately laid it over, and then when it came back, we finally did send it to ZBA. And now ZBA is divided 3-3, which is essentially same as a recommendation to deny. So are there any remaining, and since then the applicant has submitted additional information on an attempt to answer some of those questions that were not answered at ZBA, but not to apparently to an extent that caused ZBA to change their original recommendation. Increase the number of yes votes, but not enough. So are there any further questions or comments on this application rather? Alderwoman Prunty.
Can you tell us more about the discussion that took place at the ZBA? I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Jeff, want to answer that?
At LTAB, Liquor Tobacco Advisory Board, not ZBA. Make sure I clarify that.
Thank you.
There's a big difference in terms of the 3-3 vote, because if it was a 3-3 vote at ZBA, it would require a supermajority because that would be considered denial. This is just no recommendation, so I want to make that clear. So the big issue was whether or not they're calling it Premium Cigar and Vape, and is it really being a cigar shop? There was a lot of questions over that with the revised plan and business plan that was turned in. I think 3 of the members were still not convinced that it was really a cigar shop. They think it's they're using the name cigar, and their comments were they just think it's masquerading as really as a vape and tobacco store. And there was there was just a little bit of a discrepancy between the members going back and forth and talking and whether or not they wanted to approve it. And so those were really the big issues, and especially since the humidor area was very small in the back and the display area showed a large area of just vapes and tobacco products. And so that's why the 3 members were so strongly against it. So.
Go ahead.
Not being a connoisseur, what does the humidor size have to do with anything?
Well, the board felt that the size of the humidor was just there wasn't going to be a lot of cigars in the very small area in the back, and they would think it would be more like a couple of the well-known cigar stores in the area where they have large displays, and pretty much half the building is a humidor with their cigars. So that's why. When it's just a small area in the back, a little walk-in area that's probably the size of the cigars at the Binny's on East State Street. So that they looked at that and they just felt that it wasn't really a cigar shop.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? I'm sorry,
yes.
Alderwoman Prunty.
I'm sorry. Can you clarify how the vote, a yes means the no, that we agree with the no decision?
It's not no decision. It's essentially a denial. So a yes is to sustain the denial.
Okay.
Alderman Durkee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question. So then any vape shops moving forward, until the board changes over, we're going to expect a 3-3 vote. Is that what we anticipate now? We've got 3 ardent opposers to vape shops, so we're pretty much shutting the city down for vape shops, which I have no problem with. I just want to know what we're going to expect now with developers and consistency until board members turn over. There's a comment. That's not really a question.
Well, I don't know really if I could really answer that, Alderman Durkee, because I think it's they looked at this on an individual basis, and the ones that have come before us, like vape and juice, that's really what they do. Is they do just vapes, and they have to have a tobacco license because of that, because we still consider that in that same category. This one, I think they were trying to market as a premium cigar shop, and the LTAB board members that voted against this felt strongly that they were trying to just use the name premium cigars as a way to get this approved when it's really just a vape shop. So I can't really speak for them, but these are just the comments that were made at the meeting. So
go ahead, Alderman Durkee.
And you make exactly my point. So the 3, no matter how it's dressed up, if it's a vape shop, there are no more vape shops. They don't like the 3, whoever they are, don't want vape shops. So if you have vape and Diet Dr. Pepper or whatever, it doesn't matter. We're dressing it up as a Diet Dr. Pepper shop and a vape shop. So we don't want the vape shop. So by the comments that I'm hearing is we're done with vape shops in Rockford with these 3 board members. So that's my observation, is that we're done with vaping in Rockford, at least, because these are going to come back, each one is a 3-3 tie. So it doesn't matter how they're dressing it up. The reason for the disapproval is because it's a vape. So just an observation.
Thank you, Alderman Durkee. I guess I'd ask a question that sort of follows that. So I was present at the most recent ZBA meeting. I was not at, I'm sorry, I keep apologizing. For those who don't know, who are the viewing audience, ZBA and LTAB are the one and the same. The members are the same. I always think of it as ZBA. I got to break myself of that habit. When this was before or LTAB the first time, I wasn't present. My understanding is that and so this is located in a strip mall. One of the tenants of the strip mall, I believe it's the Christina Ray, objected, came and spoke and objected, and that objection swayed some of the LTAB members. And I'm just curious if we've heard from any other businesses in that strip mall who have objected, or who owns that strip mall. If Christina Ray does not own the strip mall, then if the owner of the strip mall does not object, knowing that his tenant does object, then to me, that for whatever it's worth as we decide what to do with this, to me, if the owner of the building is okay with a vape shop, then, I mean, if we're going to be opposed to it because a tenant in that building is against it, the tenant's not the owner. And so my question is, do we have any of the other businesses in that, and I believe there's 4 spaces in that strip mall, and this would be vacant, so the other 2, have they complained? Who is the owner? Has the owner complained? Or opposed, expressed opposition?
Well, obviously the owner is seeking this, has a pending lease agreement with these folks, otherwise they wouldn't be before LTAB, so obviously he wants them in there. Christina Ray was vehemently opposed to it, obviously. If you'd have been at the first LTAB meeting, you'd know that, but, they made a point that the owner of Christina Ray, that they didn't feel this fit in with the other tenants, which are a financial advisor, a real estate firm, a nutrition firm. I think there's one other tenant in there, I can't recall. But they didn't feel that was a good fit with the rest of those tenants. That was one of their objections.
So Mustafa Naji is both the owner of the building and no?
No, he is not. So the owner is an LLC out of Chicago, and I believe that owner did attend the first LTAB meeting. I don't know if he was there at the last one. But.
So when you say obviously the building owner, I mean, we know that, or we're assuming that because the building owner, assuming that the applicant wouldn't be coming forward if they didn't have an agreement.
We would not accept an application from someone unless they had a pending lease with the owner of the building.
So that tells us as a committee that the owner of the building supports this application, even if one of his tenants does not.
Correct.
And he's potentially willing to lose the tenant if it comes down to that.
It's a third. That tenant has a third of the building, so I hope he wouldn't lose that tenant.
So to me, with the split decision out of LTAB, to me that's kind of the deciding factor, and that we haven't heard any complaints other than from this one business. Are there any? Let's go with Alderwoman Wilkins had her hand up first.
I just wanted to clarify, because I don't know if you said it backwards or not, but with this coming in as a no recommendation, an I vote, and I guess I'll speak to legal, an I vote represents you do support this, and a no means you do not?
So sustaining the denial here would mean a yes would support the denial, a no would essentially be an approval.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is that it, Alderwoman Wilkins?
Yes, sir.
Alderwoman Tarina?
That was my question. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? So we'll do a roll call on this, and a yes is to deny the application, a no is to support it. Would you please call the roll? No. Motion to deny carries. And the last item, number 9, text amendment. Zoning Board of Appeals recommends approval for a text amendment of the City of Rockford zoning ordinance, Table 21-1, uses classification table, eliminate the option of a special use permit to establish residential storage units within the C3 district, and Table 22-1, uses classification table, eliminate the option of a special use permit to establish residential storage units above the ground floor within the C4 district. City of Rockford is the applicant. Is there a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to lay item 9 over for 30 days.
I'm sorry, who seconded that? Alderman, okay. Okay. That requires a vote, so it's open for debate. Is Alderman Bell, do you want to explain why we should lay it over?
Yeah, I have more questions to be answered from staff. I have time set aside from that,
and why 30 days rather than the standard 2 weeks?
Those are my motions.
So you don't care to explain it?
I have a meeting scheduled, and I would like my answers, my questions answered at that time.
And you need a meeting schedule. You can't get that scheduled in 2 weeks?
I have the meeting scheduled. I made a motion to lay it over for 30 days, sir.
I know you made a motion, and I'm asking, as another member of the committee, why we need a month, so I can decide on whether I want to support your motion.
You can say no to that motion, sir.
Yeah, I know I can. So you're declining to, who are you meeting with?
City Legal.
City Legal, may I ask when that meeting is and whether or not it can't be scheduled?
I can answer that for you.
Frame?
I can answer that for you. We have the meeting scheduled for September 4th. I'd like my motion to stay on the floor, please. I have a second.
That's fine. You do, and this is discussion of your motion. Legal, is it possible to meet with Alderman Bell sooner than that?
That was the date that was first available based on his availability and my availability.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments on the motion to lay over for 30 days? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Bonnie?
No.
Tarina? Pronti? Wilkins? Bell?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Committee meeting. Sir Clerk, could you please take roll? Here. Thank you. Our first item is an informational only item. We have the quarterly investment report. Ms. Haggerty. You're going to do them together? And we also have the financial discussion for July.
moving to close. And as investments mature in that fund, those are reinvested in our core account. That was initially where we put our ARPA funding. That is slightly underperformed, but that is because we are moving towards closure. Just general market update. Certainly there's a significant amount of market uncertainty, primarily due to tariff and policy uncertainty at the federal level. Going through the end of this quarter, the quarter in the report, the Fed had declined to cut the target rate, but as we just learned, there was a rate cut approved at their last meeting. Employment's beginning to weaken while tariffs threaten inflation, and consumer sentiment remains unsteady, which are all just points of market uncertainty. The investments all comply with the city council's approved investment policy, and I'm happy to answer any specific question that anyone has on that.
Alderman Thunberg.
Thank you, Chairman. Could you refresh my memory? I can't recall, I think it was when I was filling in for the sitting chairman, that we discussed with the new alderman, okay, I just got the nod yes, because I'd like to make sure the other aldermen are up to speed on where this money came from, our decisions back a couple of years ago with moving this money into making some money.
Oh, yes,
so
yeah.
Apparently, according to Alderman Salgado, we did have that discussion, so I'm glad, so we don't have to revisit that.
Okay.
One of the things, because I'm sure that people read thoroughly through this, I'm sure, including our chairman, and Director, you have mentioned some of the points on here, uncertainty and all, and I won't go on a tangent, but I think sometimes I read through this, and I think they do a very good job at managing the money at hand and for the purpose of it and doing their fiduciary duty. The thing that they had mentioned numerous times is the Fed chairman's comments, and over and over again mentions uncertainty here and volatility and such, and really hammering it on the tariffs. And I think the consensus was in the industry is to cut rates, and he was adamant on not doing that. I think now there is a consensus that they will in September. But I think just on the link between tariffs and inflation, which he seems to connect solely in much of this, is that sometimes I think that link can be over-exaggerated, as we see that prices on certain goods will go up, but that means there's money left, there's not as much money left over when you're paying for those price increase in those goods. So with that money not left over, other goods will go down in price to make up for that. But so there is a debate on that. But I am on board with this. I think the Fed on this, and they keep quoting him in much of this. Whether that is, the inflation part, I think should be pointed out. I don't think it has as much to do with tariffs as it does with the money supply and the overabundance of it, going up almost 3 times the M2 in 08 to 25. The Fed's balance sheet going from about $580 billion to $6.6 trillion in that amount of time, and also essentially cutting the Fed funds trading desks at banks and essentially making it a monopoly for the Feds to control rates. So I think there's some issues there that when you read this, I think our own federal Chairman Powell could look at a few things and realize that also the bottom line is what controls inflation is the M2 money supply and the overabundance of it in our economy versus the tariffs, which he is blaming pretty much everything and tying it to that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
But otherwise, a good job on managing the money.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just to reiterate, I normally don't agree with Alderman Thunberg when it comes to money matters, but I'm a saver, he's a spender. But in this case, I do agree with the point that the report hammered home this uncertainty with tariffs, and really, I mean, since March, we're really at a record high. And I know that the city, thankfully, doesn't, invest all of its or any of its money in the S&P or the Dow, and so we are more cognizant of the Fed moves and rates. But I do think they do a good job with the investments that they do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Prunty, did you have your hand up? Alderman Granite.
So I think we have a difference of opinion in regards to tariffs and the impact. And I just wanted stated that I do believe that the tariffs will have a huge impact, not only maybe not on the corporations, but they will on people like me, and they will on the constituents that I have to that go to the store and purchase something that was $5 last year is now going to be $7 this year. So when we have an impact, when we talk about tariffs, I feel that the impact is coming down the road, and I think that as we go forward, I think that impact is going to impact our investments, but it's also going to impact the people that I represent, and are also with the impact of some of the reductions in federal funding coming forward. I think that our economy is on a downspin for the average person, and maybe the corporations would be somebody that is going to be able to keep and maintain things going forward. But for the average person that I represent, we're going to see an increase in their average daily costs because of the tariffs that are going to be coming forward. So I respectfully disagree, but I do think that we will see what happens in the next 6 to 8 months.
Alderman Prunty.
Thank you, Alderwoman. And then for our department, I'm sorry, I want to say Carrie, but I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Ms. Haggerty, I'm watching your body language, and you're saying yes. Are you agreeing with?
Oh, I think that there's a healthy amount of debate happening about all of the whole variety of factors that impacts the economy. I think that while tariffs contributes, I think that the part of the point that they're trying to get across is that a lot of an important factor is consumer confidence and where people's confidence in spending money. And that has a significant impact on our budget and sales tax, things like vehicle purchases, things of that nature that have an impact on our revenue collection. And if we don't have consumer confidence, which some of the policies and the tariff, the Fed's actions on tariffs, as well as some of the federal policy that is highlighted in the summary here, impacts consumer confidence.
So to follow up, so I could see both of you when Alderman Thunberg was speaking, and your body language was saying yes. So you really weren't saying yes, I agree with you, Alderman Thunberg. But when I was looking at Alderwoman Granite, I didn't know what your body language was saying. So
I'm just acknowledging the points that are made.
Acknowledging.
I mean, they both made excellent points, and I think that these are not simple issues where you can point to one specific cause or reason for things to be going well or going poorly.
Thank you for that clarification.
Certainly.
I'm sorry, are we still talking about the quarterly investment report?
We are, yes.
Me too.
Alderman Thunberg?
Thanks, Chairman. Yeah, and if we had to go by body language, I think sometimes the first ward alderman looks like he's sleeping, but he says he's not. So in regards to my colleague, my Ninth Ward Alderman colleague, yeah, I just wanted to point out that, yes, there's no question that some tariffs will increase prices of certain goods, but the point is with a resident paying more in those specific goods leaves money that's left over at a lesser amount, which then other products will tend to go down in price to make up for that. So not because of these tariffs, not everything is going to explode in price, but there's no question that those tariffs on those specific products will. Now, we have inflation, which is a whole nother issue. Well, it ties into it, but it's kind of like one of my economists at an investment firm that I do business with pointed out in a similar manner that it's, especially when you have, regarding tariffs, it's like almost reshuffling the chairs on a deck of a ship. The ship that, the rise and fall of that ship is really based on the M2 money supply, and that's what really caused, which is basically the money that's out in the economy. I won't get into the details of that, but it's very interesting. That's really the overabundance of M2 money supply, which has tripled since 2008, I believe, is really a driving force, and especially during the COVID era. It really didn't do much in 2008, 2009, but during the COVID era, we know that the market got flooded with money, and that's when the inflation really started shortly thereafter. So it's the M2 that really controls the up and down of the ship, which would be inflation, and the tariffs is kind of a reshuffling of the deck chairs on the ship, per se. So you will have prices of goods going up in one area that do have the tariffs put on them, but other prices, because there's less money left over, will tend to go down in price on an economic scale.
Alderman Grant.
So as I believe in the shuffling of the deck, I think the challenge is that the constituents that live in my ward don't have any more deck chairs to shuffle. And they have considerably not been able to see that money that the tariff is going to be bringing to the corporations that are going to be making the profits, that are not going to pass those savings on to the people that need the deck chairs shuffled. And so for me, the tariffs are a tax that is put forward to the people who can be the least the ones that can afford to take it on. And so I am adamantly opposed to additional tariffs. I am adamantly opposed to the current administration not going through Congress and using that process. And I am adamantly opposed to the reshuffling of the decks without consideration for the people who can't afford it. And so, yes, so we are going to agree to disagree, but I am also going to be out here saying emphatically that when the inflation hits and when we start seeing an increase in need and a decrease in federal funds, that's going to increase our inflation rate, and it's also going to impact our investments, and it's going to impact a lot of things that we are going to be doing. So we are going to disagree on this issue. Thank you.
Are we running for Congress, both you guys tonight? Just curious.
And I respect my colleagues' opinions and foresight or comments. Yeah, I'm not a big tariff person myself, and but really, you know, when we look back at what really caused this in the first place, the inflation is the expanded M2 and the money supply. It happened well before this last election. We know it's happened in the past couple of years. We had unprecedented inflation. So, you know, I know that some of this inflation was supposed to happen already. It hasn't. Hopefully, it won't to a big extent. But really, the main cause of our residents and our constituents paying paying the high price that they are right now is due to the expanded money supply. And so so we'll see how this plays out, and I appreciate and I agree with plenty of those comments as well. And so, thank you.
Are we done with the...
I don't have anything more to add to that conversation.
Thank you. I'm glad. All righty. Moving on to committee reports. Item A is approval of vouchers in the amount of $11,259,862.65. Is there a motion to approve vouchers? Any questions or comments on vouchers? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes.
Chairman, would you like me to run through the financial discussion?
Oh, no, that's why I asked you. I thought
Okay, no,
are
I'm
you
sorry.
done with both? I didn't know.
meant
That's why I asked.
I was done on investment. I can just
sure.
very quickly.
We can go back.
Okay, thank
But
you.
we just can't talk about the Fed interest rate, okay?
I will not bring it up, I promise. Just to highlight revenue performance in the general fund, we continue to see underperformance in use and replacement tax, though I will note that replacement tax was 50% under budget at our last report. As of this report, we're 40% under budget, so that gap is closing a bit. We do have 3 more disbursements of replacement tax, December generally being our largest, so we will, again, closely monitor this as the year goes on and report to council as those payments come in. Overall, we are about 2.3% or $2.8 million under budget in revenue, and that is can all be attributed to replacement tax shortfalls. On the expense side, currently about 7% under budget year to date, and that is across nearly every budget unit, all currently under budget. On the CAP fund, we have CAP sales tax 12% over budget, or about $1 million, which is great news. MFT, after 7 disbursements, is also slightly over budget, about 2%. And in the redevelopment fund, surprisingly, packaged liquor tax continues to underperform, but hotel, motel, and restaurant tax are both significantly over budget for about a 9% over budget on revenue year to date. And I'll stop there.
Any questions? All right, thank you. All right, back to vouchers. I think we had a motion. Oh, go ahead, Alderman Beach.
No, that's fine. If I'm reading it right, do we have about $5 million of overtime between police and fire?
Correct.
Is that about correct?
Yes.
Is that about where it normally runs year after year?
That is high for this year compared to last year, particularly in the police department.
Is there some of those numbers just are out of our control?
Yes, so the police department overtime is largely offset by savings on salaries because of understaffing in the department. Certainly, and as hiring occurs, which I know the police department has very actively pursued, we would expect those numbers to decline.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Alderman Toomer.
Thank you, Chairman. Did you mention anything about the license and inspections?
Not specifically, no.
Because I noticed that was kind of significantly below, and if there's any reason for that.
I don't have a specific reason, but we can do a little bit of research and share information with you.
Okay. And the utility tax?
Yes, that has been underperforming all year, and it's across, I believe it's across all 3 of our current utility taxes, electric, gas, and water. All 3 are underperforming.
Okay. Yeah, I just noticed those were kind of more significant.
Yes.
I realize the fines on a percentage basis are, but just not on a dollar basis. So.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, back to vouchers. Any questions on vouchers? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Matter passes. Item B is approval of lease agreement with Emerald Property Management in the amount of $9,000. It does not require a cost match. It's a 1-year lease, and it will provide transitional housing per the requirement of the current impact through Winnebago County Mental Health Program. The funding source is the Winnebago County Community Mental Health Board. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Moving on to resolutions. Item A is an approval of an application and award acceptance of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity Community Services block grant in the amount of $1,105,405. It does not require a cost match. The grant term is from January 1, 2026 to June 30, 2027. The grant award will provide funds to develop and implement programs to assist low-income residents in working towards family stabilization and self-sufficiency. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All right. Alderman Logan.
Thank you, Chairman. One quick question. Mr. Carter, when I think it's a noble goal of family stabilization and self-sufficiency. Looking through the packet, I didn't really see anything of like how we're able to measure that. Could you just elaborate on how we're spending this $1.1 million and with that ultimate outcome of family stabilization and self-sufficiency?
Yes, sir. What we do all win is this is the same grant that we have received since 1981, previously before that came directly from the Equal Opportunity Commission. So this was directly funded to an organization, and actually that wouldn't pay what the block right here. So we have mechanisms in place through the state, the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. We have to report self-sufficiency. We follow. We know that the 6, 9, 12-month follow-up to see if we have actually removed that need. A lot of these needs don't happen when the crisis is under control and the ability to move forward.
Please understand these are not like, to lack of a better term, these are not the handouts, but the handouts to show that there's a crisis beyond their control and the ability to move forward with self-sufficiency. We track it. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item C, we're gonna hold out until we get some further information. Item D is an award of joint purchase contract for the.
What happened to B?
Yes.
Item B.
Oh, did I skip B? Oh, I'm sorry, I did. Item B is an award of RFP for Brownfields Redevelopment Assessment Consultant to Fairgram in the amount of $482,000. It is through September 30, 2029, with one possible one-year extension. The funding source is the U.S. EPA Brownfields Assessment Grant. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on this matter? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Yeah. Thank you. Item C is going to be held out. Item D is an award of a joint purchase contract for the Vactron Hydro Vacuum Excavator to Vermeer in the amount of $146,797.67. It's a one-time purchase. The funding source is the Water Division Capital Lease Funds. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions or comments on the Vermeer machine? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item E is award of joint purchase contracts for a skid steer loader to Bobcat of Rockford in the amount of $54,155.50. It's also a one-time purchase. The funding source is the Street Department Capital Lease Funds. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments on the skid steer? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item F is award of a joint purchase contract for a rotary boom mower attachment to Bobcat of Cooley Region in the amount of $39,990. It's a one-time purchase. The funding source is also the Street Department Capital Lease Funds. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Alderman Logeman.
Thank you, Chairman. One quick question. I'm assuming these rotary boom mowers are kind of like when you're driving on the interstate and you see, huge mower like in the median of the interstate. If that's true, where do we use that in the city of Rockford mostly?
So it's a little bit different, I believe, than what you're describing. Okay. This one actually, it can extend about 8-9 foot out and up in the air, so it can actually reach over top of guardrails, but it's also used for forestry clearing as well.
Okay.
Where typical equipment cannot reach. So this is an attachment that attaches onto the skid steer itself, where the operator can operate from inside of the cab for right-of-way clearing.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
All right, any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item G is award of bid for public work materials to Northern Illinois Service N-Track and Rock Road Companies in an estimated annual amount of $200,000 based on unit pricing. It's a one-year contract. The funding source are various departmental operating budgets. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Any questions or comments for staff? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item H will also be held out to get some further information. Item I is reject all, take new bids for the North Main Street handrail replacement. Due to higher anticipated bids, the project needs to be rebid after revision of its scope. Is there a motion to reject the bids?
So moved. Second.
Do you have a question on this matter?
Yeah. Thank you, Chairman. Where is this on North Main? Is that south of the roundabout?
Yes. Yep. That elevated walkway.
Okay.
So.
Now in the 7th Ward. What was the price? I can't recall when I looked at it. What was the bid amount, or was it listed?
It was in the $700,000 range, I think was the lowest bid, but it was way more than we had budgeted, and we think we have some good options to get with the work that needs to be done, but at a more reasonable cost.
Thank you. I can see why we're taking this motion right now.
All right. All those in favor of rejecting the bid indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item J is award a bid for citywide street repairs group number 6 to Norwest Construction in the amount of $405,799.21. The contract duration is through October 17, 2025. The funding sources are the ARPA funds and casino funds. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Any questions or comments for staff? Alderman Logeman.
Thank you, Chairman. It's probably best for Director Hagerty. Going back to the money supply discussion from earlier, I was under the impression that we were exhausting most of our ARPA funds with a lot of the infrastructure projects over the summer. How much more funds do we have in that little ARPA account, and when do we suspect that we will exhaust those funds?
Yeah. So several of those projects were multi-year projects, and because we put a lot on our construction team, not only with the regular CAP, but with general fund surplus projects and ARPA projects, we did not get through them as quickly as, we're moving through them as quickly as we can. I can share a current state or current status of the ARPA funds with council. I think we have it pretty well up to date, but that's a spreadsheet that we can share with everyone to show what was originally approved and what has been spent to date, what's committed through council-approved projects or programs, and what we have remaining. So happy to do that.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. With respect to item number J, any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item K is award a bid for police uniform and shoes to Uniform Den and Ray O'Haron in the estimated annual amount of $200,000 based on unit pricing. The contract duration is 1 year with 4 possible one-year extension options. Annual price adjustments for CPI will be considered a contract renewal only. The funding source is the police department operating budget. Is there a motion to approve the new uniform and shoes?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Alderman Trina.
Thank you for allowing me to speak on your committee. Chief Red, can you tell me, what's the life cycle of a police uniform? Please.
So the cycle of the police uniform actually varies. It depends on annually. We kind of budget to replace uniforms on an annual basis. But depending on what unit you're assigned in, if you're wearing that uniform on a daily basis, case in point, I have detectives that have uniforms. Because they wear them so rarely, they may not actually need replacing for the time that they're assigned to a detective division.
Is there a certain amount that each officer is assigned?
So they're limited to what uniforms they can get when we do replacement for shoes and things of that nature. So it's on an annual basis, and some items are every 2 years.
If I'm a police officer, do I get like 5 uniforms?
No, typically there's 4.
Okay.
Typically 4.
Okay.
And like your gun belt, for instance, that's not something that you even need to replace every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
some items, it just depends on the wear and tear too.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item L is award of a sole source contract for vehicle barriers to Meridian Rapid Defense Group in the amount of $437,662.74. This is a one-time purchase, and the funding source is the redevelopment fund. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions or comments for staff? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Item N is a award of a non-competitive contract for U.S. Solar Community Solar to U.S. Solar at no upfront cost to the cities with a 15% rebate on energy produced, which will be applied to our account balance directly by ComEd. The contract duration is 20 years. Is there a motion to approve? Any questions for staff? Alderman Durkee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question. When this describes us as being subscribers, does that mean we're buying energy from the panels?
Who can answer this? Go ahead.
So the way that the legislation that enabled this type of program to exist describes the people who are a subscriber is really someone who's committed. So we have there are a set number of panels in a solar field. We are committed to the energy produced by a certain number of panels. So we're subscribing to the energy produced by those panels. And the energy produced doesn't get delivered directly to our facilities. It is put into the system, and we receive a credit based on what those generate.
So the power from the panels goes to the regular power grid?
Yes, correct.
Are we paying an electric bill to this company?
No. So there are credits that exist that are provided by ComEd for energy produced by alternative generation facilities. We share the value of those credits with the owners of the panel. And so the portion of the credit that they receive covers the cost of the equipment, the maintenance on that equipment, the land upkeep, all of those expenses, and then we get 15% of the credits that are produced.
Yeah. So what I didn't understand is, it looks like a homeowner could sign up for.
They could, absolutely.
Right, for a number of panels.
Yes.
But after number 5, paragraph 5, it says, based on current solar field capacity, we estimate that we can sign up a portion of our water pumping accounts and receive, X number of dollars. That's where I was a little bit confused. Are we subscribing then to get our energy from the solar panels?
We are subscribing to a program that produces solar energy. So the capacity issue comes in because of the number of panels available in the field that are still unsubscribed. So until more fields get built, the solar provider does not have sufficient capacity to subscribe the city enough panels to cover all of our accounts, if that makes sense.
So we're buying energy from them more or less to the capacity that they currently have. But when are they supposed to complete by December 2026, right? Is that when all these credits go away?
No, these aren't federal credits. These are state credits. So it's through a state program.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, we don't anticipate an expiration.
Alderman Bell.
Director Haggerty, can you share with us the projected savings on this?
Yes. So based on the capacity that the solar provider currently has, and the accounts that we have eligible to enroll, we estimate approximately $7,400 monthly in credits. Now, as more capacity comes online, there is another solar field that is in the beginning stages of construction. So once that is complete, then we can enroll additional accounts. So the most that we could potentially generate if all of our water accounts were enrolled is over $200,000 a month in credits.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions? I just had one. I'm just a little bit concerned about the 20-year commitment.
Yeah.
That's the only concern to me because, I mean, a lot of these solar ventures that have started have...
Yes, understood. So one of the reasons why we're recommending U.S. Solar is because the broker that the city works with for all of our energy procurement did their homework on there are a variety of solar providers. U.S. Solar owns the entire project. They own, construct, manage. They continue to own the property that the panels are located on. So it's a one-stop shop, which is not super common in the field. The subscriptions correspond with the useful life of the panels, and that is by design. This program is designed by the state of Illinois. So we are subscribing to the energy that's produced by a specific panel for the life of the panel unless we terminate. And there are termination provisions in the agreement, 180 days without any sort of cause or penalty to the city.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Is there a motion to adjourn? I do it in the committee meeting?
You wouldn't adjourn, sorry.
I'm sorry?
You don't adjourn. You asked for that motion.
Okay, all right. So, Alden Beach.
Ask a question on an item we've already passed on.
So long as it's not information only item A or B.
On J, part of the funding was casino funds. And I wanted to know if those were the $7 million a year guarantee. If that's so, where are we in that? What else is committed to it? Do we get paid that money monthly, yearly, quarterly? How does that come into the city?
Go ahead.
So we receive payments monthly. I don't have a current balance off the top of my head. We can certainly pull that information from you for you. But $7 million of the $7 million that was committed, or that is guaranteed, $1 million of that council approved going to police and fire capital. So the parking lot, a portion of the parking lot construction is for one of the police facilities. That is where the casino funds are being used, is to improve a parking lot at one of the police stations. So happy to give a report on, and if you'd like, actually, we can add to our monthly financial report, the casino revenue on a monthly basis.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before we convene, I have to make another motion, and that is to convene in the closed session to discuss pending and threatened litigation matters. So is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
All right, thank you. All those in favor of that indicate by aye.
Aye.
And then we will keep the F&P meeting open. A roll call, okay. All right.
Logan. Thunberg. Ross.
Aye.
Granite.
Aye.
Beach.
Aye.
Thank you.